and welcome back. Another day, another logic workout, and this time revolving around problem solving with Venn diagrams and very basic level Venn diagram theory or set theory, dealing with only two sets at a time. So, we're not even dealing with three sets in the story, only two sets at a time. The story might be initially very challenging, but as you dive in deeper and run through the rules and information given a couple of times, hopefully a better picture should emerge. So as usual, I'm assuming that you have tried out the problem by yourself and then you are joining the discussion for maximum value. So let me start with the story. Students in a college are discussing two proposals. So let me at the beginning itself ignore this information. All I need to know is that there are two proposals. What the proposals are about were not needed for the problem solving part of it. I hope everybody realized that after 5-10 minutes of attempting the problem. Furthermore, a student does not necessarily support either of the two proposals. So, some students will support A or B or both, and there are some students who will support neither. So, I am capturing them in not A, B outside of these two major sets. In an upcoming election for student union, there are two candidates, Sunita and Ragini. Great, Sunita and Ragini. But the difference here is every student prefers one of the two candidates. So later I will read somewhere that there are a total of 500 people. So I know this 500 is definitely distributed between S and R. Unlike the above story where there were some students who did not belong to either set, right? Now moving into the rule territory, step by step, just capturing the information and not getting lost in equations or trying to work it out too quickly before I run through all the information. So the very first rule said 250 students supported proposal A and 250 supported proposal B. Great. 250 for A, 250 for B. Spend a second thinking that this 250 is made up of only A as well as A and B. Similarly, this 250 is made up of only B, this region, as well as A and B, the common region, right? Moreover, do not make the mistake of thinking that 250 and 250 are total of 500. You do know there are some people, or there may be some people who are outside these sets altogether, and that will be very closely linked with the common intersection. Again, do not think too much, move on to the next rule. The next rule was very interesting. Among the 200 students who preferred Sunita as a student union president, 80% supported proposal A. So Sunita is 200. In fact, if Sunita is 200, I can conclude that Ragini is 300 because there were a total of 500 people and I was told every student does support one or the other candidate. So very good, very clean piece of information coming my way. And the second part said 80% supported proposal A. 80% of what? 80% of 200, therefore 160. That means out of the supporters of S, 160 of them support A. And once again, when I say A, it means only A as well as A and B. Again, just think about it for a second. Do not worry about the equation right now. Just think that, just be aware of what this data unit is made up of, right? Moving on to the next rule. Among those who preferred Ragini, 30% supported proposal A. I figured out Ragini has a support of 300 people and 30% of that is going to be 90. So this A is 90, and once again this A is made up of only A as well as A and B. Just a thought, and moving on to the next rule. I can also notice that this 160 and 90 makes up 250. So out of A, 160 people support S and 90 people support R. But as of now, you do not have a breakdown of only A and A and B territory. But overall, you know, out of 250, 160 have gone to S and 90 have gone to R. Moving on to the next rule. It said 20% of those who supported proposal B. Proposal B is supported by 250 people, 20%, 1 by 5 of that is 50. They supported or preferred Sunita. So out of the Sunita supporters, there are 50 people who support proposal B. And once again, this B might be made up of only B as well as A and B territory. Moving on. So this was slightly complicated, just you have to read it carefully a couple of times maybe and work out the logic in your head. 40% of those who did not support proposal B. There are a total of 250 people who are supporting the proposal B. That means who do not support proposal B are also equal to 250 because there are a total of 500 people. So 500 minus 250 gives you 250. Once again, on the surface, it might look like, oh, those who do not support B must be supporting A, and therefore this is that 250 that I'm talking about. But no, I'm talking about that 250 which is made up of only A and not A and B. Because only A are the people who do not support B, as well as these people who support neither are also part of those people who do not support B. So I know this number is also going to be overall 250, simply 500 minus 250. And the rule says 40% of those who did not. So 40% of 250 gives me 100. So not B supporters is equal to 100. They preferred Ragini. So out of these Ragini supporters, not B is equal to 100. Furthermore, I have added as a note that this 100 is made up of only A as well as not A, B people together, right? Moving on. Every student who preferred Sunita and supported proposal B also supported proposal A. Okay, very interesting. Spend a second with it, repeat the information a couple of times. All the supporters of Sunita who supported the proposal B also supported proposal A. That means this B that I earlier thought was made up of only B as well as A and B is actually all A and B, and this 50 is a subset of this overall 160. So I'm trying to move it across the box to represent this information, but maybe you should write it down somewhere that this 50 is a part of 160. This 160 was only A as well as A and B, and you just figured out A and B is equal to 50. That means only A is going to be 110. Only A out of the supporters of S, that number is 110, not the overall only A right now, right? So slow down, maybe a lot of deductions have happened right now, go step by step. This 50 is a subset of 160. You said overall for A there are 160 people. That means out of this 160, and now you said that anybody who supports B amongst the supporters of S also supports A by default. That means this B is not just B, it is A and B. So supporters of B in this common region is equal to 50, and a little bit of arithmetic thinking that okay, this total is 160. Out of the total, A and B is 50. That means only A is 110. Only A is 110. And only A out of only supporters of S so far, because I'm not thinking of Ragini right now. And so I'm not saying that this whole region is 110. Out of this whole region, supporters of S are 110. So make peace with this information and then move on to the next rule. So now we are almost very close to the solution if you made it so far. Among those who preferred Ragini were 300. 20% did not support any of the proposals. 20% of what? 20% of 300 did not support any of the proposals. So 60 people did not support any of the proposals. I just saw a minute earlier that this total 100 was made up of only A and not AB out of the supporters of Ragini in Ragini's universe, right? I just figured out that this is 60, therefore I can conclude that only A is 40. Only A where? In the supporters or amongst the supporters of Ragini. So now I can say supporters of Ragini in the only A section are total of 40. Now if I add these two together, I see I get a total of 150. So now I can definitely say the only A part overall is going to be 150, right? Out of 250 people, only A supporters are 110 plus 40, which is 150. but the total was 250. That means the remaining 100 have to go to this A and B region. And in this A and B region, I figured out 50 people support S. That means the remaining 50 people must be supporting R. And you can also confirm this data. Only A, which is 40 people, and A and B, which is 50 people, total gives you 90 as given earlier. And now the same story working with set B. 250 was the total count. 100 are gone to the common region as deducted earlier. That means only B region is 150. And you can also conclude that all of these people are supporters of R, because anybody who supported S and supported B belong to A and B. That means the remaining region, all the supporters or all the people or all the students are definitely Ragini supporters. So only Ragini supporters are 150. And now I have all the information that is needed to answer everything. In fact, a couple of questions could have been answered even earlier, but I just wanted to run through everything. So you can check all the story for yourself. Maybe one odd piece might be missing. So look at S supporters. There are a total of 200 of them, 110 here and 50 here. So you have 160 accounted. What about the remaining 40? Those remaining 40 must be from the not AB region, right? So now I have all 200 accounted for, 110 here, 50 here, 160 and 40 here, which is a total of 200. By the way, this not AB region then becomes 40 plus 60, which is 100. Now if you work out the union for A and B, you will get 250 plus 250, which is 500, minus the common intersection area, assuming you know basic set theory formula. 500 minus 100 is going to give you 400. That means overall 400 people are in the colored region. That means outside also you have another 100 people. And now out of these 100 people, 60 are supporting Ragini and 40 are supporting Suchitra or S or whatever the name is, right? So great, I have a very, very clear picture. I can move towards the questions and let's see what the data is. And the questions are going to be very, very easy. The tough part is already over. So the first question was, among the students surveyed who supported proposal A, that is 250, what percentage preferred Sunita for student union president? So out of these 250, how many preferred Sunita? I just figured that out. 110 and 50 prefer Sunita. So 160 out of 250 is your answer, whatever that value comes out as. So let me put up the answer in fractions only, leaving the calculation up to you. 160 out of 250, right? So I think this is mostly a language driven challenge, not really a big maths or a hairy set theory problem, right? Question number 2, what percentage of the students surveyed who did not support proposal A? Once again, 250 people did support proposal A, that means the remaining 250 did not. And if you want a even more detailed breakdown, you know this is equal to 100 and this is equal to 150. These are the people who did not support A, so that number is 250 again. So whatever your answer is going to be out of 250, right? And the question is, did not support A, preferred Ragini as student union president. So in this region, in outside of A region, I know 150 people definitely supported Ragini out of the only B region and 60 people supported Ragini out of the not AB region. So 150 plus 60, my answer would be 210, and not just 210, I'm supposed to calculate 210 out of 250, right? So I hope you realize how easy this is. What percentage of the students surveyed who supported both proposals A and B preferred Sunita? People who supported both A and B, the total number is 100, and people who preferred Sunita was 50. So the percentage is 50 out of 100 or 50%. My answer should be option 2. So that's it. I am going to stop right now, and leaving the fourth problem for you to solve is not going to be a challenge at all. But I do want you to notice that, especially if you tried out the problem by yourself, chances are that you deployed a lot of equations which were not needed. So what I would suggest is, sorry for clicking all over the place, what I would suggest is go through the story once again till it is very, very clearly imprinted in your head, that you should be able to recall it next day without looking at the problem. That's the kind of immersion I'm looking for, and understand that how easy this was and where the challenge lies, because realizing that is a very, very important task in our process, right? Because things appear difficult, but then there are lot of times we have seen over and over again that they are not as difficult as they appeared in the beginning, right? So probably the lesson from this one is clearer interpretations and not jumping to equations or not compounding our confusion by thinking too much. If I stayed with the story and played with it a little bit, especially if I was struggling, that could have helped a lot. And can't emphasize the importance of working things out by yourself enough. You have already seen enough sets with me, so by now you're definitely should be reaching a stage that I know even if a problem is difficult on day one, let me stick to it, let me take a break from it, let me drink tea and come back to it and approach it again with my own mind. Because every time somebody else is giving you a solution is kind of weakening your mind. You need to make that breakthrough, because once you do that, once you figure out a problem after 2 days, your whole outlook will change, your confidence in the problem solving process will also change. So I hope you are by yourself really, really struggling with the problems and not just easily coming to the solutions. So this is it for this mini session. Watch it again maybe after a day. Understand that this was very, very easy, even if it is feeling difficult right now, right? But anyway, this is it for this mini macro session. I'll see you very soon with the next challenge.